There is a moment in the Bugatti Chiron rebuild story that perfectly shows who Bob really is as a person. It is not about money, fame, or even cars. It is about commitment. In that moment, Bob is sitting at dinner with a woman. It is a proper date night, something planned and arranged, something most people look forward to after a long day of work. Everything is calm and normal, just like any other evening. Then suddenly, his phone rings. On the other side is Matt Armstrong. The situation is urgent. The Bugatti radiators need immediate attention before an important trip to Miami. There is no time to wait. Bob listens, thinks for a second, and then turns to his date. He tells her she has 3 seconds. 3 seconds. That is all the time he gives before he stands up, grabs his tools and a large box of parts, and walks out to get back to work. This small moment may sound simple, but it tells a powerful story. It shows that Bob is not just doing a job. He is deeply committed to the project. He is someone who puts responsibility first, even when it means sacrificing personal time. For many viewers, this moment became unforgettable. It was not just about fixing a car. It was about dedication, passion, and a mindset that is very rare today to truly understand why this moment matters so much. It is important to understand what kind of project this Bugatti rebuild really is. The Bugatti Chiron is not an ordinary car. It is one of the most advanced and expensive machines ever built. With around 1,500 horsepower and a complex W16 engine, it is designed with extreme precision. Everything about it is complicated. It has advanced systems, special parts, and strict rules about how it should be repaired. The company behind it does not make things easy for independent mechanics. In fact, they prefer that only their own approved centers work on these cars. This means that getting parts or repairing damaged components outside their network is very difficult. When Matt Armstrong decided to rebuild a damaged Chiron, he was not just fixing a car. He was taking on a challenge that many people believed was impossible. The system was designed in a way that made independent rebuilding extremely hard. This is where Bob becomes important. Every time the project hit a wall, Bob found a way to move forward. His skills, especially in aluminum welding, became the key to solving problems that even the manufacturer did not support. Without him, the rebuild could have easily stopped at many points. One of the biggest challenges in the rebuild came when a critical part of the car was found damaged. This was the gearbox mounting bracket, a very important structural component that holds the drivetrain in place. If this part fails, the car cannot function properly, and fixing it is not simple at all. When the damage was discovered, it looked like the project might end there. Getting a replacement from the manufacturer was not possible, as they refused to provide the part. Making a new one using machines was also risky, because everything needed to be perfectly aligned. Even a small mistake could cause serious problems later. This is where Bob stepped in. He carefully examined the broken piece and came to a surprising conclusion. He said it could be repaired. Not just patched, but properly repaired. He did not rush the job. Instead, he studied the original design and noticed areas where the structure could be improved. During the repair process, he added material and strengthened the weak points. In the end, the part was not only fixed, but actually stronger than before. This was a huge moment in the rebuild. It proved that skill and knowledge could overcome limitations. It also showed that sometimes independent experts can achieve results that go beyond expectations. The challenges did not stop there. Another major issue came with the car's radiators. The Bugatti Chiron uses multiple radiators as part of its cooling system, and they are essential for keeping the engine at the right temperature. When these were found damaged, the expected solution was to replace them completely. However, getting new ones was expensive and difficult, especially with the same restrictions from the manufacturer. Once again, Bob took a close look at the problem. Instead of accepting that replacement was the only option, he checked if repair was possible. After careful inspection, he confirmed that all the radiators could be fixed. He then worked on each one with precision, repairing them one by one. This was not luck. It was skill and experience. He approached each radiator methodically, making sure the repairs were done properly. By the end, all four were restored and ready to use. This saved time, money, and most importantly, kept the project moving forward. What makes this even more impressive is the consistency. Bob did not just succeed once. He kept delivering results every time he was needed. This created a pattern that viewers began to notice. Whenever there was a problem, Bob was the solution. As the project continued, the automotive community began to pay close attention. People were not just watching a car being rebuilt. They were watching a story unfold. They saw how important Bob's role was in making the project successful. Comments started appearing everywhere, praising his work and dedication. Many viewers began to say that without Bob, the Bugatti would never have been completed. This idea quickly spread, and soon it became a common belief among fans. Some even started suggesting that Bob deserved something special in return, not just payment, but recognition for his contribution. The idea of giving him a car became popular. It was not about charity. It was about appreciation. People felt that his work added real value to the project. The videos gained millions of views, and the car itself became more valuable because of the documented rebuild. Bob's efforts played a major role in this success. He was not just a worker. He was a key part of the story. His skills, his attitude, and his willingness to go the extra mile made him stand out. That is why the community started pushing for him to be rewarded in a meaningful way. The discussion about rewarding Bob also brings up an important point about how we value work. Some people argue that he was already paid for his services, so there is no need for anything extra. While this is true on the surface, it does not tell the whole story. There is a difference between doing a job and making a major impact. Bob's role in the rebuild was not ordinary. He handled critical situations where failure was not an option. The pressure was high, and the stakes were even higher. A mistake could have ended the project or caused serious damage. Despite this, he delivered results that exceeded expectations. He did not just fix problems. He improved parts and made them stronger. He also showed a level of commitment that went beyond professional duty. Leaving a personal moment like a date to handle urgent work is not something everyone would do. This shows that he cared deeply about the project's success. That kind of dedication is hard to measure with money alone. It is something that people notice and respect. That is why many believe he deserves recognition that reflects his true contribution. Another important factor is the long-term value created by the rebuild. The project is not just about fixing a car. It is also about content, audience, and influence. The videos documenting the rebuild have reached millions of people and will continue to generate views over time. This means ongoing revenue and growth for the platform. The car itself, once fully completed, becomes more valuable because of its story. A well-documented rebuild adds credibility and uniqueness. Bob's work is a major part of that story. Without his contributions, the project might not have reached this stage. This means his impact goes beyond the physical repairs. He helped create something that has lasting value. This is another reason why the idea of rewarding him makes sense to many people. It is not just about what he did in the moment, but what his work continues to generate over time. When it comes to deciding what kind of reward would be meaningful, there are many possibilities. Some people suggest giving Bob a classic car that matches his skills. As a welding and fabrication expert, he would likely enjoy working on something with detailed metalwork. A classic sports car or vintage model could be a perfect fit. Others suggest something more modern, like giving him his own project car to rebuild and customize. This could even become a new series, with Bob taking the lead. That idea would not only reward him, but also create exciting content for viewers. Another option is something more personal, based on what Bob actually wants. The best reward is not always the most expensive one. It is the one that has meaning for the person receiving it. That is why many believe the decision should involve Bob directly. Understanding his dream project and helping him achieve it will be the most genuine way to show appreciation. Beyond the individual story, this situation also highlights a larger issue in the automotive world. Many manufacturers prefer to keep control over repairs and parts. This can make it difficult for independent mechanics to work on complex vehicles. The Bugatti rebuild challenged this idea. It showed that skilled individuals can achieve results even without official support. Bob became a symbol of this idea. He proved that knowledge, experience, and determination can overcome restrictions. This resonated with many people, especially those who enjoy working on their own vehicles. It gave them confidence and inspiration. It also started conversations about fairness and access in the industry. While companies have their reasons for controlling repairs, stories like this show that there is another side, one where independent experts play an important role and deserve recognition for their abilities. In the end, the story of Bob and the Bugatti rebuild is about more than just a car. It is about people, effort, and values. Bob showed what it means to be truly dedicated to something. He solved problems that seemed impossible, stayed consistent under pressure, and made sacrifices when needed. His actions left a strong impression on everyone who followed the journey. That is why so many people believe he deserves something special in return, not because he asked for it, but because he earned it. The community has made its voice clear. They want to see him recognized in a meaningful way, whether that comes in the form of a car or another opportunity. The message remains the same. Real skill and real commitment should always be appreciated. And in this case, Bob has clearly proven that he is worthy of that appreciation. As more people continue to watch the Rebuild series, Bob's reputation grew even stronger within the automotive community. What started as appreciation slowly turned into admiration. Viewers began to notice small details about how he worked. He was calm under pressure, focused on solutions, and never looked for attention. While many people in online content try to stand out with loud reactions or dramatic moments, Bob did the opposite. He let his work speak for itself. This made him even more respected. People trust individuals who show skill through action rather than words. Over time, fans started giving him nicknames, and one of the most popular was Bob Gaddy, a playful way of comparing his abilities to something almost legendary. While the name may sound exaggerated, it reflects how people felt about his contribution. In a project where failure was always a possibility, Bob brought stability. He became the person viewers relied on to fix things when everything else seemed uncertain. This kind of trust is not built overnight. It comes from consistency and proven results. Every successful repair added to his credibility, and every challenge he solved strengthened his image as someone truly exceptional. Another interesting aspect of the story is how it changed the way people view independent specialists. In many industries, especially in high-end automotive work, there is a strong belief that only official manufacturers can handle complex repairs. This belief is supported by strict rules, limited access to parts, and advanced technology that is not easily available. However, Bob's work challenged this idea directly. He showed that with the right knowledge and experience, independent experts can perform at an extremely high level. This does not mean that manufacturers are wrong in their approach, but it does show that skill is not limited to official networks. Many viewers found this inspiring because it broke a common assumption. It proved that passion and dedication can compete with large organizations. This message reached not only car enthusiasts, but also professionals in other fields. It reminded people that expertise can exist anywhere, not just within big companies. Bob became an example of what is possible when someone fully understands their craft and is willing to push boundaries. The emotional side of the story also played a big role in its popularity. Technical achievements are impressive, but they do not always connect with a wide audience. What made this story different was the human element. The date-night moment, in particular, became a symbol of Bob's character. It showed that he was willing to put responsibility first, even when it was not convenient. While some people might see this as extreme, others saw it as a sign of true dedication. It sparked discussions among viewers about priorities, work ethic, and personal sacrifice. Many people asked themselves what they would do in a similar situation. Would they stay at dinner or go to work? There is no single correct answer, but the fact that people were thinking about it shows how powerful the moment was. It added depth to the story and made it more relatable. Instead of just watching a rebuild, viewers felt connected to the people involved. This emotional connection is one of the main reasons the story continued to grow in popularity. As the idea of rewarding Bob gained more support, it also started to influence how content creators think about collaboration. In many projects, there are key individuals who work behind the scenes and do not always receive public recognition. Bob's story highlighted the importance of acknowledging these contributions. It showed that audiences notice more than just the main figure in a video. They pay attention to everyone involved, especially when their work has a visible impact. This can encourage creators to give more credit to their team members and partners. It can also lead to new types of content where these individuals take a more central role. For example, a series focused on Bob's own projects could be both rewarding for him and highly engaging for viewers. This shift in focus can create a more balanced and authentic form of storytelling, where everyone's contribution is valued. It also builds trust of the audience, as they see that effort and skill are recognized fairly. Looking at the bigger picture, the Bugatti rebuild and Bob's role in it represent a powerful combination of skill, storytelling, and community engagement. Each part of the story supports the others. The technical challenges make the project interesting, the human moments make it relatable, and the community reaction adds energy and direction. Together, they create something much larger than a simple rebuild. They create a narrative that people want to follow and be part of. This is why the story continues to attract attention even after many of the repairs are completed. It is not just about the final result. It is about the journey and the people involved. Bob's contribution is central to that journey, and his impact will likely be remembered long after the project is finished. Whether he receives a car or another form of recognition, one thing is clear. He has already earned something very valuable: respect. And in many ways, that is the most meaningful reward of all that as the rebuild story continues to spread across different platforms. More and more people are discovering Bob's role in the project for the first time. Many of them go back and watch earlier videos just to understand how important his work really was. This kind of backward engagement is rare, but it shows how strong the story has become. New viewers quickly notice a pattern. Whenever a major issue appears, Bob is involved in solving it. This repeated pattern builds trust and expectation. People start to feel confident that no matter how difficult the problem is, it can be fixed. That feeling keeps them watching. It also creates a sense of excitement, because each new challenge becomes an opportunity to see Bob's skills in action again. Over time, this has turned him into one of the most respected figures in the series. Even though he is not the main creator of the content, his presence adds depth and reliability to the project, making it more than just entertainment. It becomes a showcase of real craftsmanship, something that viewers genuinely appreciate and respect. Another reason why Bob's story stands out is a contrast between his working style and the environment around him. The Bugatti Chiron represents extreme luxury, advanced technology, and controlled engineering processes. Everything about it is designed to be precise and exclusive. On the other hand, Bob works in a simple workshop with standard tools and his own experience. This contrast makes his achievements even more impressive. It shows that you do not always need the most advanced equipment to solve complex problems. Sometimes knowledge and skill are more important than expensive tools. This idea resonates with many people who work in practical fields. It reminds them that their own abilities have value, even if they do not have access to high-end resources. Bob's success becomes a form of encouragement. It tells people that they can achieve great results with what they have, as long as they understand their craft and stay committed to improving it. The discussion about giving Bob a car has also created an interesting dynamic within the community. It has brought people together around a shared goal. Normally, viewers watch content individually and move on, but in this case, they started to act collectively. They liked comments, shared opinions, and supported ideas that they believed were fair. This sense of unity is powerful. It shows that audiences are not just passive consumers. They can influence conversations and even shape outcomes. While there is no guarantee that the suggested reward will happen, the fact that so many people are talking about it already has an impact. It puts attention on the importance of recognizing contribution. It also encourages more discussions about fairness in collaborative work. In a way, the community has become part of the story itself, adding another layer to an already rich narrative. At the same time, it is important to consider the practical side of the situation. Rewarding someone with a car is not a small decision. It involves cost, planning, and long-term commitment. There are also questions about expectations. If one person is rewarded in this way, others might expect similar recognition in the future. This is why the decision needs to be thoughtful and balanced. However, this does not take away from the main point. Bob's contribution was significant, and it deserves to be acknowledged in a meaningful way. The exact form of that recognition can vary. It could be a car, a dedicated project, or even a business opportunity. What matters most is that it reflects the value he added to the project. A well-considered reward can strengthen relationships, build goodwill, and create positive attention for everyone involved. In the end, the story of Bob and the Bugatti rebuild is a powerful reminder of what true dedication looks like. It shows that success is often a result of teamwork. Even when one person appears to be in the spotlight, behind every major achievement, there are individuals who contribute their skills, time, and effort to make it possible. Bob represents those individuals. He worked quietly, solved difficult problems, and stayed committed from start to finish. His actions spoke louder than words, and people noticed. That is why his story continues to inspire so many viewers. It is not just about cars or engineering. It is about values like hard work, reliability, and passion. These are qualities that people respect in any field. As the rebuild reaches its conclusion, Bob's role will remain one of its most important elements. Whether he receives a car or not, his impact is already clear. He turned a challenging project into a success and showed everyone what is possible when skill meets dedication. As the story continues to grow and reach even more viewers around the world, it becomes clear that Bob's impact goes far beyond just one rebuild project. What started as a technical role in fixing complex parts has slowly turned into something much bigger, something that people connect with on a deeper level. His journey in the Bugatti Chiron rebuild is not just about welding aluminum or repairing damaged components, but about representing a mindset that many people admire but rarely see in action. In today's world, where speed, shortcuts, and quick results are often preferred, Bob stands out because he represents patience, precision, and true craftsmanship. He takes the time to understand a problem fully before solving it. And when he works, he does it with complete focus and care. This approach is not only effective but also inspiring. Viewers who watch his work begin to appreciate the value of doing things properly instead of quickly. They start to understand that real skill takes time to develop, and that experience cannot be replaced by tools or shortcuts. This is one of the reasons why his role in the rebuild feels so important. He is not just helping complete a project. He is showing a different way of thinking, one that values quality over convenience. As more people discover his work, this message spreads further, influencing not just car enthusiasts, but anyone who takes pride in their craft. His calm attitude, his problem-solving ability, and his willingness to step up when needed create a powerful example of professionalism. Even in moments of pressure, he does not panic or rush. Instead, he focuses on what needs to be done and finds solutions step by step. This kind of mindset is rare, and it is one of the main reasons why people respect him so much. It also explains why the idea of rewarding him has gained so much support. People are not just reacting to one or two impressive moments. They are responding to a consistent pattern of behavior that shows integrity, dedication, and excellence. In many ways, Bob represents the kind of person people want to see succeed. Someone who works hard without seeking attention, who delivers results without making excuses, and who stays true to his craft regardless of the situation. As the rebuild story becomes more complete, his role within it becomes even more meaningful. He is no longer just a supporting figure. He is a symbol of what makes the entire project special. The success of the Bugatti rebuild is not only about overcoming technical challenges, but also about highlighting the people who make those achievements possible. Bob's contribution reminds everyone that behind every great result, there is someone putting in the effort, often without recognition. Bringing that recognition to light is what makes this story so powerful and why it continues to resonate with such a wide audience. As the rebuild story moves toward its final stages, one thing becomes more and more clear. Bob's role is not something that can be forgotten or replaced. When people look back at the entire journey, they will not just remember the car, the challenges, or even the final result. They will remember the moments that define the process, and many of those moments involve Bob. From the critical gearbox repair to the radiator fixes, and even the famous date night incident. Each situation added another layer to his story. These are the kinds of moments that stay in people's minds because they combine skill with emotion. They show not just what was done, but how and why it was done. That is what makes a story memorable. It is also what builds a lasting connection with the audience. People do not just admire Bob for his technical ability. They respect him for his attitude, his reliability, and the way he handles responsibility. This combination of qualities is rare,